Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've just got a message that I want to share with you. Over the past couple of months, the attacks on anyone who loves their country, is a nationalist, is a Trump supporter, or a conservative, or a Christian, or even a libertarian, these attacks have been exponentially increased by those on the far left. So much so that many are, left hurt or injured in the process. Not only that, but I want to just tell you guys that there is a mass amount of censorship happening on the internet right now. We are literally fighting for our rights to stay on air, not be shadow banned, and to just be able to share our political views. News organizations like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and others have banded together in order to target their opposition and eliminate them completely, because those on the left, those mainstream media sites, believe they're the only ones who are allowed to tell you the legit news. A news, might I add, that they lie consecutively about. They've lied about InfoWars on multiple times. I've caught them in many. They've lied about the color of people's skins. They lied about Trump, and they continue to push these false narratives in order to push a propaganda agenda. Well, they want to silence any alternative independent media because they say we are exposing their stuff, and they don't like their stuff exposed. So I encourage you, please don't watch those channels anymore. I can't even stand to look at them. They are liars on every front. Don't let that propaganda get you. Now, with that, I want to just show you proof and evidence of how bad it really is, not just on the censorship side, but I want to focus this one on how are they really going after Trump, his cabinet, their supporters. Well, what I'm about to show you is massive, and I'm going to show you accounts. I'm not going to say how many until the end of this video, but I'm going to show you just in the month of July how massive the attacks have been against us. And then I'm going to go backwards and show you all the way back up until January and show you that the attack on Trump supporters is exponentially increasing. So let's get started. I'm going to breeze through these very, very quickly. So the first report here comes from Breitbart, July 17th. Gory Trump throat-cutting art decorates window of a Portland gallery. Here's another. Democrat Steve Cohen tweets on July 16th, "Where are our military folks? The commander-in-chief is in the hands of the enemy." I have to ask, did that Democrat just call for military folks to stop Trump? Well, I guess you'll be the deciding factor. Here's another one from The Hill, put out July 16th. Proud Boys run out of LA bar by Democratic socialists calling them fascists. Here's another by Breitbart on the 15th. Anti-Trump paraglider who buzzed Trump visit arrested in Britain. Here's another Breitbart on the 15th. Former Clinton White House staffer, it's tempting to beat up Rand Paul. Here's another by Daily Mail on the 13th. Second day of protests rock Ivanka and Jared's family home. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators rally with loudspeakers outside of D.C. mansion as president's daughter is latest administration member targeted by personal direct action. Here's another from San Diego Reader on the 13th. Build the Wall sign attracts waterfront park shuffle. 8kpax.com on the 10th. Protesters arrested accused of assaulting officer at ICE office. Here's another on the 10th of July. Man on Twitter threatens to curb stomp a girl at Disneyland in MAGA hat. He tweets, "I low-key want to curb stomp that girl at Disneyland in the MAGA hat. Disney is a special thing for me. Don't you dare bring politics into it." Daily Caller on the 10th. Fox News reporter harassed, threatened, and forced to leave Supreme Court by leftist mob. Washington Post on 9th of July, from Kellyanne Conway to Stephen Miller, Trump's administration faced taunts from hecklers around D.C. Now this includes Stephen Miller attacked by a bartender, Sean Spicer screamed at by a motorist, and Kellyanne Conway harassed in a grocery store. Breitbart on the 9th of July, exclusive photos, no walls, no borders, no open borders, activists vandalize a New York DHS office. Town Hall on the 8th, listen, Idaho GOP representative receives threatening voicemails in emails because of a Facebook post. The Hill on the 7th, bookstore owner calls police after customer confronted Steve Bannon. That a tweet was sent out by Dean Obadiah, and he tweets, about Bannon and said she only called Steve Bannon a piece of trash, referencing the woman in the bookstore. There are so many other words for him, but that's a good start. Sadly, the bookstore owner sided with a man who emboldens white supremacy than with the American values. Fox News on the 8th of July, former Clinton aide shares contact information of the bookstore that Steve Bannon was harassed in. True Pundit on the 7th, rabid protesters threaten GOP Mitch McConnell outside of a restaurant. We know where you live. Antifa attacks a prayer vigil for Tommy Robinson in San Francisco on the 7th. New York Times on the 6th, Democrats do not surrender the judiciary. I did a report on this one, and the article calls for God-style father tactics to be used against Trump supporters. And this was written by the New York Times editors. Journal and Topics on the 6th, brick thrown through the front door of a Wheeling Township Republican headquarters. Mark Lamont Hill, he tweeted on the 5th, I actually don't advocate throwing drinks on people, not at all. But yes, I think MAGA hats deliberately reflect a movement that conjures racism, homophobia, xenophobia, etc. So yes, it's a little hard to feel sympathy when someone gets Coca-Cola thrown on him. On 4 New York on July 6th, Long Island man threatened to kill Trump supporters of Republican congressman. WTKR, July 6th, homeowner says he was attacked over Trump flag in the yard. InfoWars on the 6th, Dejowitz says anti-Trump woman threatened to stab him through the heart. On July 6th, BLM activist calls for assassination of Supreme Court Justice. Here's what the tweet read. It said, just assassinate a Supreme Court justice and put me in their place. We'll call it good. Brandon Straka of the Unsilent Minority on July 5th tweets about harassment. He says, I'm shaking right now. I just went into a camera store to buy a camera and a light and mic, and they recognized me from TV. I was refused service because they said I was for the alt-right purposes. That literally just happened. Breitbart on the 5th of July, teen attacked at Whataburger for wearing a MAGA hat. Thankfully, the guy who did it was arrested. The Republican Standard on July 4th, Paul Begla reported sending Democrat staffer to harass Barbara Comstock on the 4th. The Hill on the 3rd, Nebraska GOP office window smashed. Abolish ICE. Spray painted on a sidewalk. Gateway Pundit on the 3rd. This is the DNC. Liberal loon Kristen Mick harasses Trump EPA chief in a restaurant, then brags about it. Daily Wire on the 2nd, man in MAGA hat denied service at popular seafood joint by manager. Then the boss steps in. Mother of cancer survivor harassed at a seafood restaurant on July 2nd. Breitbart on July 2nd. Scherer demonstrates must win to stop Gestapo-style tactics of ICE and impeach Trump. Breitbart on July 2nd, man accused of threatening to kill Rand Paul's family with an axe. Breitbart on the 1st, Sarah Sanders' life sentence should be made uncomfortable. That was according to WAPO's Rubin. On July 1st, another Breitbart restaurant manager fired for refusing to serve MAGA hat customer. And then finally, Antifa terrorists attack the Patriot prayer rally in Portland, Oregon on the 1st of July. That's an awful lot. You know how many that was? About 40 altogether, 40 separate cases of Trump supporters, Trump administration, or threats on Trump himself over the past month. That's around 40. You want to know what happened prior to that? Well, in the month of July, there were about 49. In the month of June, total for the whole month, there was about 49, and we're already at 40-ish for the month of July. This means there's an uptick because we're only partway through July. Now, if you go back in the month of May, there were about 11. In April, there were about 9. March, there were about 8. February 10 and January 3. So the numbers get smaller, or they tend to bounce around a little bit, but June and July, especially July, it has exponentially increased. Now, I got this information from a Breitbart article. I'm going to toss it up on the screen here, but Breitbart is running or having a running tally of all these acts and keeping total of it. So I encourage you to check out that article, but it's over now, or about 529 total instances of media-inspired, media pushed by the media, violence against Trump and his supporters. 529 acts. That's huge. What's really going on here? When the media is pushing this, I played multiple clips from the media and how they're pushing this agenda. And I know I went through an awful lot of articles there, and there are links below to that Breitbart article that links all the other articles. But this is huge. That means that there's something going on, because I've never seen this amount of tension coming from the left and coming from what's going on today. They certainly are definitely upping their tactics. And I encourage you, we have to start taking a stand. Start calling your senators. I'm going to leave the switchboard number below so you can call and let people know in your Congress and your senators that they need to stop. They need to stop, number one, with the censorship against political news channels like mine, who we're not allowed to share our opinion because CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and the like don't want me talking on a public platform, just exposing the corruption, or even talking about some of the things that we're not allowed to talk about, like nationalism versus globalism. Why is that so bad? I love my country. Why is that a bad thing? And these are the things that they don't like me to talk about, or others to talk about, or the fact that the left is pushing for straight up violence. I never do. I don't push for violence of any kind, and I don't support it. But I do support calling your congressman and making your voices heard. Let them know that you're tired of the censorship on the internet, that you're tired of them shutting down your news channels, that you're tired of us getting blacklisted, because keep in mind, it will not stop with just us. Not only that, but encourage them to start supporting the President of the United States of America. Anyhow, I'd love to get your comments and concerns. I don't want to keep you too long. But with that, don't forget to check out my partner at noblegoldinvestments.com. Also, subscribe to the channel, share it on all your social media outlet, and give me a thumbs up. Well, I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.